What's up, everybody? This is HBT with the Straight Up Wrestling Show. I'm here live, man, and I got some things to say. So, hey, been trying to get on all day long, but couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. Had so many things to do today. Man, out there working on lawnmowers, trying to get everything done for this spring. Working on my sister-in-law's lawnmower and working with my daughters and working with mine. So, got caught up into that. Basically had to go by the school and do some things. So I'm here late, but hey, that's okay. I'm here. Chris and I have been talking all day. We was gonna come on and we was gonna do a Mania preview show because all the matches have been laid out now. He had some things going on. He was working on, so he didn't get on. Neither one of us got to get on at that time either. So basically here now, man, guys. Wow, here now, and pretty much gonna run over some of the things that I want to talk about. Just got finished watching Dynamite. Didn't get to watch that last night. So, we pretty much behind on some of the things that we've been doing. But, guys, I'm here. And, man, I'm going to talk about a few things. I want to talk about, I will do some reviews. I will be reviewing Dynamite. I want to talk about Kenny Omega and, the star that he is and the star that he could be, how big he actually can rise to in the business of wrestling. I'm talking about the Blackpool Combat Club. Everybody see what the Blackpool Combat Club is doing, so I'm definitely going to talk about them. And I'm going to talk about the Butcher and I'm talking about the Butcher and the Blade. The Blade is part of that, but I will talk about the Butcher because the Butcher is the one that took on Orange Cassidy this weekend, and the Butcher and the Blade have not gotten their props over there in WWE, not WWE, in AEW. I wish they was in WWE. Maybe they would get the proper respect that they deserve. So I will be talking about the Butcher, and like I said, I will be doing some reviews. I'm gonna do Dynamite, and I'm gonna do from Saturday. I am gonna run down Rampage. I got a lot of other stuff that I actually need to talk about, but I'm not going to do that. I'll get on tomorrow and actually talk about that. But tonight, man, I'm going to go ahead and go over some reviews. And like I said, I'm going to talk about Kenny Omega, talk about the Blackpool Combat Club, the Butcher, and reviews. JL is in the house. What's up, JL? JL says, good evening. I think you know what is coming. I woke up tired and disoriented. I watched a inspiring promo and I end up rocking the day out and made it a very productive day. International role model. We know who you're talking about. International role model. Go ahead and say it, your man Brian Breaker. But okay. Let's see. What's the second one? I got a big day on Friday. School got me busy tomorrow. I will smash it out with the proper mindset, which I am getting better at. I will earn my right to watch Breakamania. Sorry, WrestleMania. Man, you're a stone trip. All right, guys. But yeah, uh, sorry about that. All right, guys. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this, man. But first thing I want to talk about, man, I want to talk about Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, last week he had that amazing match against that hiking Vico or whatever that guy's name is, man. I really haven't got his name down, really haven't been practicing trying to get it down or whatever. And this week he wrestled Jeff. Who was that he wrestled? He wrestled Jeff. I can't think of this guy's last name that he wrestled this yesterday. I mean, what was Wednesday night? The guy he wrestled on Dynamite. I have seen this guy before. Not the first time. I used to watch this guy on Ring of Honor. I cannot think of Jeff's last name, but he had a good match. That was a pretty decent match. Wasn't the greatest match. Definitely didn't match the match that he had a week ago. But Kenny Omega, the way the crowd responds to the guy, man, is amazing. Kenny Omega is not the greatest on the mic. He's not, he's not the most, one of these guys that really, the most intriguing guy as you watch him. He's not the striking character. But the thing about him, when he gets into the ring, the reputation that he brings into that ring, it actually plays out in his skills in the ring. And this guy right here can go down as one of the all-time greats. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I love every bit of his move sets. I'm not going to say he's everything that he does is outstanding. And I love everything that he does. But it's something about his style. It's something about the way he carries himself, and something about the way that he wrestles. Really gets over. It gets over with me, man. And I've seen guys that was way better, especially way back in the day. But for some reason, in this day and time, I guess it's the way, the style that he's carrying in the ring. It has got me intrigued. It's got me glued to the set. But I see not just me, a lot of people out here. It has glued. His style has them glued to the set. And this guy's a winner, man. Everywhere he's went, he's been a winner, and he's a collector of titles. So, man, Kenny Omega is rising, and if WWE gets a hand on him, man, the potential, the matchups that can happen if he goes to WWE, it's unbelievable, man. Untapped potential, and he's definitely not going to get that over in AEW. AEW do have a chance to really make a huge mark with Kenny Omega and him having that IWG P title, whatever I think is, yeah. Uh, he definitely, that title right there is gonna propel him to the heights that he needs to get to. I think it's the IWGP uh, United States title, but that title is gonna propel him to where he needs to go as far as in the world of wrestling in the United States, man, or overseas or whatever. Uh, However you want to look at it. He does not actually need the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, but he should be vying for that too. So MJF need to pony up, man. It's time for him to really get prepared to take on Kenny Omega. If he's the best, he needs to take on the best. And Kenny Omega, in my opinion, is the best over there in AEW. AEW needed him, and he is the guy, man, who can he can bring back the fans. He can get back the fans that they have been missing out on. And the ratings came out earlier today, and their ratings are down. They did 954,000, I think, the week before. They did 833,000 this week. And I think that new All Access show, Chris watched it. I didn't watch it. Chris said it was pretty good, but I've heard things like that before. I haven't watched it yet. I will watch it tomorrow. I haven't watched it, but I did watch. Like I said, I watched Dynamite today, and man, Dynamite. I have my review, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I did enjoy Kenny Omega's match. Kenny Omega, I give that match 3.5 stars that he had with that Jeff guy. I can't think of his last name. And JL, if you have it, I'm pretty sure put it up there. I will be reading your comments in a little bit. But yeah, that was a very good match, man. With him and Jeff, and he put on. He does. Kenny Omega does what he does. And he did get attacked after the match. A Blackpool Combat Club come in and attacked him savagely. A savage attack, man. And then you had Brian Danielson come out, and Brian Danielson, hey, I knew something was up his sleeve. I just didn't trust him, to tell you the truth. And Kenny Omega didn't at first. Then Kenny pretty much got some trust behind him and trusted him, and he ended up joining the club that he's been with, and ended up attacking Kenny Omega. So we have that scenario going on. And I tell you what, I will get to the Blackpool Combat Club. That's next. But I tell you what, Kenny Omega is rising. That's not something that's going to slow him down. This guy is great. He's the best over there. In AEW, he's the best over there. No, he's not. He doesn't have the mic skills of an MJF. Neither does he have the mic skills of an Ethan Page. But as far as his wrestling ability, man, he's second to none over there in that company. So they definitely need to work with him and get him in a position that hey, he's going to the next level. But you talking about somebody who can carry the company, just like Ric Flair was carrying the NWA pretty much on his back. This guy can carry AEW on his back. So man, Tony Khan, get it together when it comes to that guy, 100%. All right, JL, let me get to your comments, man. And I know you're going to say something about Braun in there. I know you're going to be saying stuff about Braun in here. Braun this, Braun that. Oh, man. And JL, hit that like button. And I got some other people, a couple other people. Definitely hit that like button wherever you at, man. Whatever platform you on, hit that like button. I'm on late tonight, but I would like people to know, that algorithm to catch that the Straight Up Wrestling Show is live. HBT is here. So guys, hit that like button wherever you at, man. On Facebook, like, share, join. On YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell, ding, 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 so you know when we're on, like times like these. Do the same thing over on Twitch and on Twitter. Hit that like, share, tweet, and retweet. man, as I go on tonight and pretty much knock this thing out. But let me get to JL's comments. All right, JL. Okay, since you forced me, Braun Breaker is my favorite. Man, you a stone trip. JL, man, AEW last night was terrible. Not only did they fail to live up even remotely close to the beautiful video package, they phoned in the show, which is weird since it's Breaker. WrestleMania week. All right, JL, Jeff Cobb is a new, yeah, Jeff Cobb, that's who it was. Appreciate that, JL. Jeff Cobb is a New Japan Pro Wrestling guy besides Omega, and he got a lot of rub from Styles anyway. All of the New Japan Pro Wrestling guys do not get a reaction in the West. Sorry, it's the truth. New Japan Pro Wrestling is not watchable. I never will try. Man, it is hard to watch. I will say that in certain points, it's hard to watch. Chris does like it. Chris likes it a lot. He watches he watches actually on streaming service, and they show, from last year. So he's a year behind. I do get to see him live sometime behind Impact. It's just a little too much, man. It's not for me. It really isn't. All right. JL, I heard some people saying the CM Punk thing is all an angle to make him heel. Man, AEW is going to be very fortunate if they retain most of their sponsors. Man, look, that thing, no doubt, man. That thing is not, it's not a work. It's not a work, man. It's all true. And I mean, it will be very, very silly, very, very dumb of Tony Khan to make that a work. That's definitely not a work. I don't get that, JL. But yeah, that's definitely not a work. All right, JL said, okay, I think we need to call it down the middle. New Japan Pro Wrestling is a terrible promotion. I never have watched an entire show. I watched one, and that was when Matt Striker was commentating. He made it somewhat watchable. Okay, man, New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm not going to call it a terrible promotion. It's hard for us to watch, but over there, man, in the Tokyo Dome, they are putting 40 to 60,000 people in that thing every week. So, man, I would not call that a terrible promotion. I definitely wouldn't call that. Nobody over here in the United States is doing that. No, no. So I'm not gonna, or in Canada or anywhere else in the West, man. Over in Europe, nobody is doing anything like that. Nobody. So I'm not gonna call it that. But JL says, I saw NXT ratings went up. I wonder who boosted those ratings. No need for the thank you or the spoiler. I have always been honest. I never exaggerate or lie about these things. JL, they did go up last week, but this week, man, they dropped 12.9%. So they almost like 120,000 people, that tuned in last week didn't tune in this week. All right, JL. Oh, you said I saw NXT. I'm sorry. NXT ratings went up. I'm sorry about that. That was AEW I was thinking about. JL, well, Omega will get eaten alive in WWE. Boy Scout will happily introduce him and welcome him, and happily kick him out of his house. Man, you a stone trip. Let me bring this thing down so my lips won't be coming down below where I'm talking at, man. So let me bring this thing down. That's coming off my, so if this thing slides down, guys, if it slides down because I don't have it on the, I'm on my tablet. Wow. I'm on my tablet right now, so come on, man. Wow, now I wish I wouldn't have touched this thing, guys. All right, there it is again. Sorry about that. But this tablet been tripping, man. Yeah, my tablet's been tripping hard, real hard. All right, guys, look, sorry about that. But yeah, my tablet been acting up, and I'm just not up high enough, and it look like I'm coming down too low. All right, but JL says, okay, well, Omega will get eaten alive in WWE. Boy Scout will happily introduce him and welcome him and happily kick him out of his house. JL, I don't always talk about Brian. Why would you assume such a thing? I always give love and support. Some of us do not. Try hold people down. Cough, Chris. Man, stop it. Stop it, JL. Goodness sake. Man, give me a second, man. Give me a second. Man, this thing is getting on my nerve. All right, man. Yeah, I'm on this tablet, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, I wanted to get my whole face in here. And so I'm doing that. Wow, JL, that video package still gives me chills. Great video package, man. But hey, let's stop talking about that. That's all you want to talk about. That video package. That video package. It was great. It was outstanding. What else can you say about it, man? There's nothing else you can say about it. It really isn't. It was great. It was it was perfect, man. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But come on, man. Come on, JL. JL, I know if Boy Scout went to New Japan Pro Wrestling, it would get millions, perhaps 500,000,000 views using his excellence. Oh my gosh, man. JL, I kind of wish CM Punk pulled this act in WWE and was acting big and bold to Boy Scout. I would pay to see that fight and would cheer on you know who. I would be in his corner and coaching him. Oh gosh, man. All right, JL, calm down on that talk, man. Calm down on that talk. I want to get to what I want to talk about. I'm not gonna talk about JL with you all night long, buddy. JL. I'm not gonna talk about Braun Breaker with you all night long, man. I'm just not gonna do it. All right, buddy. So calm down just a little bit, man. Please. You can say something every now and then, but stop it. Stop it. Let me get to my agenda. Let me talk about my show. Let me talk about what I'm here to talk about. I don't want to just be up here talking about your Boy Scout all the way through this show. I'm not gonna do that. I'm here by myself, and man, I will put you on timeout, man. You're a stone trip, man. Braun Breaker, Braun Breaker, Braun Breaker. That's all you do, man. Goodness sake, man. Whoa. Man, you a trip. JL, New Japan Pro Wrestling is worse than WWE for pushing that guy. That Okada guy is basically Cena. He always wins predictable. Yeah, that's true. All right. JL, I told you last week, Boy Scout moved the needle, and look what happened. Besides that rubbish, AEW, Mr. Rex Steiner has been busting his tail to make Breaker. I mean, WrestleMania success Breaker, man. JL, so since you are on, can we talk about Boy Scout tonight? I'll relax. This can wait for when Braun has his magnificent entrance and Big W this weekend. Then JL, damn, I can really barge in a lot. I really am the third unaccredited member. Man, you a stone trip. Just cut it out. Cut it out. All right, I'm not gonna talk about Breaker again. Not for a while. Give me 10 minutes, man. I'm not gonna talk about him for another 10 minutes. Straight up. If you put something on here about Braun Breaker, man, I'm gonna ignore it, and I will not answer your questions, JL. No doubt about it, man. Because you just going on and on. All right, man. But yeah, I talked about Kenny Omega. What I think about Kenny Omega, and like I said, Kenny Omega, man, he is something special. And yes, JL, I think he's better than your boy right now. He's definitely better than Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker has some ways to go. Will Braun Breaker be better than him? Yes, I think so. Braun Breaker, he just need to add a few more things to his repertoire, and I think he will be. Man, this guy, he will be adding stuff as he goes. If he takes after his father and uncle, yeah, he's gonna be adding a lot of things to what he already has in his arsenal, and he will be unstoppable. No ends and buts about that. But is he on Kenny Omega's level right now? No, no, no. But yeah, Kenny Omega, man, Omega Rising. Everybody need to watch out for that. And Tony Khan is the only thing that can slow that down. But Tony Khan did let Omega do his thing before. Omega needs to do his thing again, man. 100%. If that company's gonna stay afloat, it's gonna have to be somebody like Kenny Omega to keep it afloat. Straight up. JL, how do you feel about the booking of Omega? These title matches feel hollow. Something with AEW's mid card and the women's part is shallow. Jade is bigger star than Hater. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Man, as far as Kenny Omega's booking, man, it is what it is. When it boils down to it, when it comes to him and anybody that's a Kenny Omega fan, you just gonna have to take what you get in AEW. You just are. I mean, Tony Khan has no clue as far as how to make this guy great, greater by putting him in great matchups. He has no clue of how to do that. He really don't. All right, JL, do you think Blackpool Comeback Club being heels is best for them? Mm. I could see them being heels, but yeah, that's what I'm about to get to now. I can see them being heels. I can understand them being heels, but this stuff that they're doing right now, just attacking everybody, just causing all this chaos, I don't like it at all. I don't like it one bit. And I say thumbs down to it, man. Thumbs down to it. And you know, I know a girl who comes on here, the young lady that comes on here, Tatiana. I listened to her review today. She loves it. She loves it 100%. I mean, she thinks it's great. She's not the only one. There's other people out there think it's great. You know that these guys out here are being bad boys, and they running roughshod over everybody. No, I don't think it's great at all. Now, if the company had their stuff in order, that's one thing. If you have your stuff in order, everything is going great, and then you come in and then you cause chaos, and you know you come in and you stir the pot, and you just start beating down people, man, and everything seems out of the norm and everything just goes haywire. That's one thing. But that company has been going haywire for a while now, and out of nowhere, you got these guys, the Blackpool Comeback Club, who was pretty much showing people how tough they was and wrestling right. Now these guys are all out of control. They're attacking people and everything like that. You cannot build a company that way. People are gonna get tired of seeing that. They are gonna get tired of seeing that. And it went and showed how many people that they actually lost from last week to this week. And I guarantee the Blackpool Comeback Club, in my opinion, I bet you they had a lot to do with that. You know, people are turned off by that kind of stuff, man. You do not, you know, I can go back to the greatest factions in wrestling companies back when I was growing up. And always remember things was going smooth. And then next thing you know, there's a heel faction. Somebody started something to stir the pot. Man, Jim Crockett Promotions was going great at the time when Ric Flair was the world champ. You had Nikita Koloff as the United States heavyweight champion. You had Magnum TA challenging for that belt. You had Tully Blanchard as the television champion, and you had the world tag team champions was the Rock and Roll Express, and you had Midnight Express challenging them for the titles, and you had Ole teaming with his cousin Arn, and you know they wasn't in the Four Horsemen at that time. Everything was going so great in that company. You had Jake the Snake Roberts, one of the top wrestlers over there in that company. Company was doing fabulous, doing excellent. Dusty Rhodes, one of the top wrestlers in that company. Everything was going smooth. Everything. The Russians, man, was just out of control. The Russians was just they was in control. They was smooth with what they was doing. Ivan Koloff, Mid Atlantic Heavyweight Champion at that time. You know, Nikita Koloff with that United States Heavyweight Championship, and they had Crusher Khrushchev with all three of them, the first 6-man World Tag Team Champions in the NWA in Jim Crockett Promotions. Man, everything going smooth. Next thing you know, and Ric Flair's a fan favorite at this time. Ric Flair is wrestling Magnum TA. And Magnum TA is getting the upper hand on Rick. Rick calls out to Tully, who was outside of the ring, Tully Blanchard, who was a nemesis of Ric Flair. Ric Flair was picking on his clothes and everything, talking about his perfect 10 baby doll and all that. And you know, Tully was outside watching this match. You know, next thing you know, Rick gets kicked out of the ring, and Magnum goes out after him. He's out there fighting him outside the ring. You know, Rick getting beat up. Then Rick yells, says something to Tully. Get him, Tully. Get him, Tully. Next thing you know, Tully is attacking Magnum TA. I'm like, what in the world's going on here? The next week, man, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson is with Ric Flair. And then all four of those guys together, they formed the Four Horsemen. Everything just got chaotic. Everything just went haywire. You know, Jimmy Valiant was doing his Boogie Woogie Man thing at that time, and in a feud with Gary Hart, it was some great things going on in that company. You know, nobody really ruled except for Ric Flair was the world champion. Then you had your world tag team champions, which you know was a lot of people vying for that. You know, from the Andersons for that title. It was some great tag teams, but everything was in order. Same thing in WCW. Everything was in order, man. It was right on the cusp. You know, they was battling with Raw at that time. for supremacy on Monday nights. They bringing in Hogan, they bringing in Randy Macho Man Savage, they bringing in Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Everything over there was going smooth. Sting was in competition, dominating at that time. You had Lex Luger, who had just come back into the company. You had Scott Norton. You had Buff Bagwell. You had the Steiners doing great in the company. You had so many different people at that time. That company was running great. They had a cruiserweight division that was doing really good, really well. Well, beginning to do well. They really hadn't established everything. But Chris Benoit was rocking the house over there. And I know you don't like him, JL, but Chris Benoit was doing a lot of great things at the time. Booker T, Harlem Heat, they was doing a lot of great things in that company. Next thing you know, a couple guys come over who had been there previously. Kevin Nash had, he already had been over there. He was Oz over there in WCW. He was Vinny Vegas in WCW. I think he was one other guy. He was like one or two other guys. And, he went over and became Diesel. They made him a star, over there in WWE. And one thing I have to say, they took that character from the Vinny Vegas character. Same thing with Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon was over in WCW. He had been in AWA before. He was in NWA. He was Sky Hall Irwin at one time. Then my man over in WCW, he got to the point where Diamond Dallas Page was managing him, and he called himself the Diamond Stud. First, he was calling himself Sky Hall. Then he became the Diamond Stud. Then he went over there. That character, I'm sorry, Razor Ramon was played off of that character. I don't care if WWE or whoever tries to say it wasn't. I know Chris tries to say it wasn't. But yes, he played that character. They looked at that character and took the Razor Ramon character and played that off of the character that he had over there, Diamond Dallas Page. But the whole thing about it is, I'm just go past that. They took those two guys, came back over. They used their real name, Kevin Nash and Sky Hall. They used their real names, and they caused the disturbance. When that company, everything was going smooth over there with WCW. Then Hulk Hogan, they got him to turn. Everything went haywire. That's what I'm talking about. Have your house in order. AEW haven't had their house in order. Really never had their house in order, tell you the truth. But they have had it better, way better than they have the last few months. Their house is not in order. And then they throw something like this. They throw a bunch of chaos in there. Everybody see these guys just come out there attacking everybody, just beating people up, making them look stupid. I'm just like, wow. It doesn't make sense. And maybe I'm not the average wrestling mind out here, but for some reason, I've been looking at wrestling long enough, and I've been around a lot of people in certain scenarios, and I've looked at, I've always, as far as in business, always been able to look at a business and could tell if it was going to last or not in businesses, or a sporting, a sporting, company starts up, if they're going to last or not by just watching it, man. Because I think the average person, is going to see certain things, and they're gonna know along with a lot of other average person. It's like you could open up a hamburger stand and say that hamburger is perfect the first time. It's really good. Then it's decent the next time. It's decent, still good. You got a 4-star burger. Everybody, oh, it's pretty good. You're telling your friends about it. Then next thing you know, hey, it becomes a sloppy shop. And who's being called a sloppy shop right now, guys? Hey, okay, becomes a sloppy shop. They lose some people that really care about it, and they get some cooks back there on the back line, start making those burgers, start not really spreading the mayonnaise all around a sandwich like it should be, just plopping it on there, the ketchup and pickles not right in the middle, and just so they can spread out. They're just plopping it on there any kind of way, throwing a handful of lettuce on there instead of putting a decent amount of lettuce, giving you a salad. Hey, and I'm sorry, people say, hey, it goes down the same way. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. The way you prepare a burger, prepare a sandwich, it can taste different. And you can put the same ingredients on there, it can taste different. Sloppy shop. Everything's sloppy, not being played out the right way. Or, if you overcook the fries, same thing. same thing. And so what you got is you took some of your best wrestlers. You took John Moxley. You took Claudio Castagnoli. To me, is the best over there outside of Kenny Omega. You took those two, and you took an up and comer Wheeler Yuta, and you put these guys out there, and you made them maniacs. And you got Bryan Danielson in there running with that little Rat Pack too, and they're just running wild. What happened when they lost order over there? They lost order in WCW and just let NWO do whatever they wanted to do. And then you had the boss join in with them. Foolishness, man. Foolishness. WCW lost his shirt. I don't care if he can blame those TV executives all he wants, but that was on him. Okay. Now when NWO Four Horsemen started taking over, doing their thing, Jim Crockett, all those guys, Dusty Rhodes, they still had that thing under control. They still ran a great company. They brought in the Road Warriors. They had Nikita Koloff turn after Magnum TA got hurt. He started teaming with Dusty Rhodes, and they was teaming with the Road Warriors. Man, they had other great wrestlers, man. You had the Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, and all these guys go after the Anderson brothers. Man, I'm not Anderson brothers, Uncle Ole and Arn, and you had Magnum TA and Tully had they big, huge feud, which culminated in one of the greatest cage matches of all time, in the I Quit match. I mean, and you had Ric Flair had his problems with Dusty Rhodes winning the title, losing the title. He lost to Ronnie Garvin. You had so many great things that happened over there in that company. They had their stuff together. They had their house in order. But over here, you got the Blackpool Combat Club running around like a bunch of idiots, man. I'm not. I don't blame them. I know it's Tony Khan telling them to do it. It's foolishness running around in that company like that, man. It really is. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man, you talk about some trash, man. It's garbage, man. It really is. All right, guys, let me get to these comments, man, because they loading up. And I see my man Jacoby Peter is in the house. I see my man Tobin Cruz is in the house. Guys, I'm glad. I just had to talk, man. I had to talk, had to get this stuff out because it needs to be said. And then next, I'm gonna go to the butcher, talk about the butcher, guys, and then I'm gonna go to some reviews. But man, like I said, I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say, but I do not want to be on here all night because I will be coming on. I'll probably come on a few times tomorrow, 4 times, and I will be coming on with Christopher Burton. Me and Chris goes in at 3 o'clock, so we will be coming on early, guys, probably around 11, 12 o'clock at the latest p.m. coming on. And like I say, check it out. We're going to do a review. We're going to do our preview. We're going to do a preview of WrestleMania, guys, but I got other things that I do want to talk about. All right. So, all right, JL, at least Mox did not bleed. Yeah, I will give him that. JL, I am annoyed that my boy Ethan Page got shafted again. He says Ethan Page is getting disrespected. I think it's because he is Canadian. Canadian, man. I love Ethan Page. Love Ethan Page. But hey, we can forget it. We can forget it with Ethan Page. Hey, you brought Hook out there and act like Hook can fight this man. No. I mean, wow. You got a star. You have a star there in Ethan Page. But hey, Tony Khan, he has no clue, man. Has no clue. All right. Man, that ending of AEW, yikes. Really, they had confetti for a match against Garcia. No title on the line at all. Coleslaw. I mean, Adam Cole needs to hit the gym. Yes, of course he needs to hit the gym. I actually like the way they ended it. I like the way they ended it. I like the way I do like that Britt came out there, hugged a man and kissed a man. I do like that. I will say that, JL. But I will in my review talk about the rest of it. But it's not many things that I liked on AEW Dynamite the other night. Just put it that way. All right, JL. I would have thought Cole would have bulked up a bit when he was gone. I swear, if I am bigger than this guy by the end of the year, either I have some good genes or Adam Cole is just lazy. JL, I don't know why it bothers me so much, but seeing such a small guy beating guys twice his size and being presented as a beast makes me cringe. It just makes it look even more unrealistic. Yep. JL, wait, Rick was a face. It must have been in Charlotte. They always cheer in their hometown. Rick has been a face, man. He throughout the Carolinas, Virginia. Yeah, he was face, man. He's been face. He's heel. And most of his career, most places he was a heel. But yeah, he's been a face, man. He even teamed with Ricky Steamboat at one time. Jacoby Peter said, "What's up, Harry? What's up, Jacoby? All right, JL. Who was more talented, Steiners, Harlem Heat, Gangsters, LOD, or the Outsiders? The Steiners, man. The Steiners. 100%. The Steiners was the most talented tag team I ever saw. That's before I would say that. Yeah, I don't think anybody was that talented that I've seen as far as a tag team. Hmm. I can look at the Mungos. I can look at the Anderson brothers, but no, nobody. I never seen nobody possess as a tandem possess the talent that these guys had. I think Dino Bravo and Gino Brito was very, very talented. I will say those two was very talented. All right, I see my girl Majestic Marie is in the house. What's going on, Majestic Marie? Appreciate you joining me here tonight. I will get to your comments because right now I'm just gonna roll with the comments, guys. Tobin Cruz, sup, Harry? I don't care about yesterday's show. I'm sorry, just didn't care. And also, Harry, we get another Tony Khan announced next week. Oh God. So another announcement is coming up. Okay, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. JL, sorry, I made it very clear. I do not respect Benoit. Like I said, when I first heard of him, I was like 12, and it was 2015. So I never saw him wrestle. Only the guy he ended up being. I know, man. I know. But like I say, hey, only thing I hated what happened. I don't respect that at all. But he was a great wrestler. That's all I'm gonna say. It's kind of like O.J. Simpson for me. Hey, I loved O.J. Simpson as a football player. I hate what he apparently did, but hey, he was a great football player, and that Heisman Trophy, keep your Heisman Trophy because you earned that on the field. Chris Benoit, his exploits in the ring was outstanding, man. He done a lot for wrestling. So, but yeah, what eventually happened, that was tragic. And I love the, Nancy. Can't think of her last name, but Nancy Benoit, woman, loved her for years, man. I'm talking about the person that she was. And man, I hated that. And yeah, I love Benoit as a wrestler. I hated what happened there too. But it did, man. It did. Hey, I can't judge him. He will be judged one day. But all I can say is if I knew it personally, what happened, if I saw that, hey, yeah, of course I'm gonna judge what I see. We are able to judge what we see or know about. You know this person undone that. But hey, horrible thing that he did, man. Really did. It really is. JL Razor Ramon said he came up with his character on his own. Seems like a lot like he took inspiration from Montana. Hmm. Okay. JL AEW is giving me WCW vibes with these endings. Not every show has to end with a brawl. Watching the network recently, I watched NWO Beginnings. Now I have to say this. Tobin Cruz said, Harry, I think I heard in an interview that DDP came up with the Razor Ramon character, and Razor told Eric that let them do something with Sting that can be interesting. He was Scorpio Sting in the 90s, black white. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. All right, JL, I am 6 episodes in, and why does it seem like every show ends abruptly with NWO brawling with people? AEW is doing the same thing. Let me get up here and read my girl Majestic Marie. She says, "Hi Harry, I love Danielson's turn. It was great. Eddie Kingston, next Ring of Honor World Champion. Okay, cool, cool. I love I like Eddie Kingston. It'd be great for him to have that title. It would be great for him to win that title. He deserves his props. And as far as Brian Danielson go, man, I don't have anything against his turn. I have nothing against Brian Danielson's turn. It was kind of cool, actually, the way he did it. But still, I do not like that Blackpool Combat Club and everything that they're doing. I can't stand that. But yeah, I have to check Facebook in just a minute, make sure I'm pretty Majestic Marie, probably the only one who's commented over there. All right, Jill, I am 6 episodes in, and why does it seem like every show ends abruptly with NWA brawling? Okay, well, people, AEW is doing the same thing. AEW thinks he has the WWE effect. I may give Vince a hard time, but he built a loyal and recognizable product and established it. AEW is a baby. They cannot afford to put on rubbish shows so early on. I'm with you, JL. JL, well, NWO was bigger than WCW, and they were being carried by NWO, which was just a faction, which is reality impressive. The fact the faction got that big, no DX was never on par with them. No doubt about that, Jo. But anytime, I'm not gonna say they was bigger than the company. Of course they did, and they sold all the merchandise and everything, and you can say they was bigger than the company. Same thing like you say, Ric Flair was bigger than the NWA, or he was bigger than WCW. You can actually get out here and say that. You can say the same thing about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was bigger than the WWE. I mean, when it was World Wrestling Federation, Hulk Hogan was huge. You wouldn't believe how big he was. He was massive. Everybody talked about him. But when it boils down to it, people will ask, who do we wrestle for and everything. That name, man, was synonymous. WWF, NWO, NWA. Ric Flair was in the National Wrestling Alliance. WCW, World Championship Wrestling. Now he did overshadow that, and NWO, yeah, they overshadowed that. They definitely did. But still, that is a problem when you get that big and you are over the company, man. And you can hold them up. DX did that with WWE. They really didn't, but they did to a point. They did what they wanted to do. Ultimate Warrior got that big. Ultimate Warrior, that's why he tried that with Vince McMahon. Hey, they was ready to break his legs over that too. But yeah, sometimes wrestlers can get too big, man. There's no doubt. But we're not having that today. They're not doing that. They're not letting it happen. All right. JL, NWO had Rodman and brought some of the basketball old heads, seeing him on Nitro. I saw the entrance and it looked cool and would have done anything to be there, even though I am not a fan of NWA. Yeah, Rodman was on there with him a couple times. Yes, he was. JL, hey, you should let your thoughts out with no filter. I do it, and I mean everyone loves it with no complaints. So you should never hold back. You have seen I do not. JL, you're a trip. There was no QTV, so they pissed me off. Oh, okay, okay. All right. JL, why did Papa Pump not beat Triple H at the Rumble? Was it just a shot at WCW being weak? Man, I don't know, man. I have no clue. And to tell you the truth, Big Papa Pump, man, I'm glad he didn't. Big Papa Pump, man, Scott Steiner was not Scott Steiner that I remember. By the time Big Papa Pump, he didn't have the mobility, the mobility anymore. He wasn't the same type of wrestler. He just a big dude, man, just genetic freak, and lost everything. The Hurricanrana owed to Scott Steiner. It was the Frankensteiner. That's where he got it from. All these, man, so many different things that those guys invented in the ring. Scott and Rick with this multiple suplexes and all that stuff that they was doing. What's the name? Stole that. Brock Lesnar, all those things, the F5 and all that stuff, man. The Steiners was doing things like that. And he pretty much saw what they was doing. So, man, the Steiners was just, those guys was incredible. Scott Steiner was incredible. Him and his brother was so inventive. But, man, Scott ruined that. Scott did. He ruined it. He wanted to be a genetic freak. He wanted to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm sorry. Hey, in a real fight, buddy, those weights don't hit back. I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure not a lot of people will go out there and try to fight Scott Steiner. But man, this dude wanted to be the baddest man on the planet. And so he got as big as he could possibly get. And those Steiners, they was known, man. Rick and Scott Steiner would tie people up in the wrestlers up backstage. They would put them in lockers. They did everything, man. Throw you in trash cans. They pulled pranks on everybody. Guys was afraid of them. Only person they didn't mess with was Ron Simmons and Butch Reed. But they wouldn't mess with Ron Simmons. Nobody would mess with Ron Simmons. But those guys would try everybody. They would try everybody. Those boys, man, was cocky. They was bullies, man. That's straight up. That's what they were. All right. All right. JLTK announcement. Can it really be the debut, or let me guess, they started a new Facebook page? Tobin Cruz, true story, Harry. Sky Hall saved Sting's career for get repackaged into Sting with the baseball bat, Batman vibes. Yeah, he did, man. He did. My whole thing about it is this. I didn't like that. I never have gotten into the Sting, the Crow Sting. Never got into him. I like the old Sting. I like the Beach Bomb Sting. He was bigger. He was stronger. He definitely got off the juice. Came back. He was slimmer. He did he did that Sting. That Sting was not the same Sting. It wasn't as effective as the Sting earlier. That Sting right there came back. Had a match with Goldberg. Putting him in a Scorpion Deathlock. Goldberg kicked out of it. Got out of it. He was able to crawl out of it. Back in the day, the old Sting that was all muscled up and everything, he wouldn't have got out of that. He wouldn't have got out of that. Sting just wasn't that hard hitting Sting that he was no more. He still was good, still was very good, but he never got back to what he was before Tobin Cruz, in my opinion. And I don't think really when it boils down to it, he never had to leave, so he never had to really get his be repackaged. He was repackaged, and people was interested in him because he didn't wrestle for a year, and he was hanging up in the rafters, man, with a baseball bat. So that's where it came down. When it boils down to it, the honest truth, Tobin, that's how it ended up, man. That's how it was. Nobody really saved his career, man. Scott Hall really didn't save his career. We can't put it on that. We really can't. All we can really say is Scott Hall played a character in DDP. They had a storyline going. But as far as Sting, man, Sting was going to come back to huge fanfare. Man, that guy was the most popular wrestler in the world. And there's no doubt about that. Of course, Hulk Hogan was very popular and Ric Flair was very popular. But when it was boiled down to it, Sting was the most popular wrestler in the world at that time. He was in a smaller company. WWE was bigger at that time, but Sting was the most popular wrestler in the world until Steve Austin took off at that time. So, but Tobin, I agree with you. Scott Hall had a big hand in Sting's resurgence. Let's just put it that way. All right. Okay, JL, who is watching Ring of Honor? Eddie needs to make an appointment or attend a seminar to construct a masterful promo and bring that intensity. Man, he's very good with his promos, in my opinion, JL. I like him. I like his intensity. One of the most intense wrestlers out here on the scene. All right, JL, I only say that about NWO because WWE tries to make it seem like DX was some iconic group. Listen, what I've seen, the best version of DX was with China. Yeah, it was. JL, Warrior was selfish. He is lucky he did not get hurt that night pulling that disgusting act. That's true. JL, because at that time, man, wrestlers would do that. They would pull. You had old school wrestlers back then, man, who would pull a shoot on you, and they can actually hurt you. Those guys was tough, man. They was tough. He lucky he wasn't back there when doing Luther's days. Terry Funk. I'm talking about the Terry Funk in the 70s. I'm not talking about the ECW guy. Anything. I'm talking about the Terry Funk, Dory Funk guys from the late 60s, 70s. Those guys will break your leg. They would break your arms. They would do whatever it took. Ken Patera, those guys, man. Warrior lucky. That's all I really got to say. All right, JL. Scott will whoop most people. You just got to have some martial arts background and you are set. Yeah, Scott would whoop most people, man. And I've seen too many people with martial arts background get beat up by in America growing up. Saw too many people get beat. Martial artists get beat up by great street fighters. JL. Back when I was growing up, street fighters was just something totally different. All right, JL, Crow Sting was iconic and brought so many eyes. Man, he was popular before that. Okay, JL, you just don't know. All right, JL, remember Hogan versus Sting? That match had the same feeling as a Tyson fight. Well, until they were overshadowed by the future of the trashy company and ugly finish to the match, and of course, future GOAT. Okay, man, you're a trip. JL, when Brett whooped HBK and humbled him for saying that Sunny Days comment HBK wanted to leave for WCW, how do you think the WWE would be? With HBK would have left, still about the same. They would have made somebody else HBK. Oh, they would have rolled somebody in that spot. That Vince McMahon was so good at doing that stuff back in the day. Ain't no doubt. I don't think Marty Jannetty could have filled it, but somebody would. They would have came up with something. All right, JL. Who's the guy who got punished for shooting on someone and had a storyline with a mop? He was in the Radicals. I'm not sure, man. I think I know who you're talking about. Was it Ken Shamrock? I'm not sure. All right, JL, Papa Pump is the first Steiner I was introduced to. Then it was Rick. Then the best one, Braun. So you can see why I and so many others see Scott as the star, but at the price of his health. Yeah, no doubt. And that's bad. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. What I was saying there, Ken Shamrock or whatever. I'm not sure on that, JL, because I did start watching wrestling for a while here. But let me go and look at some of these comments, man. Make sure I don't have anybody else chiming in from Facebook. Yeah, my girl Majestic Marie is the only person I see over there. All right. All right. So, guys, man, like I said, I definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys joining in. And yeah, I'm on my tablet tonight, so I'm doing a little some things a little different here. Doing some things a little different here. But guys, let me check something out here over on Facebook. All right, man. All right. Well, still rolling on. And so since I got Omega Rising, the Blackpool Combat Club, I want to talk about the Butcher and the Blade, man. Let's talk about the Butcher. Basically, the Butcher had a match. He had a match Wednesday night. The Butcher took on who the Butcher took on? Orange Cassidy. So the Butcher took on Orange Cassidy. Pretty decent match. Butcher did get in his shots. He wrestled rough and tough, like you would think he would. But man, the Butcher. What I'm gonna say about the Butcher reminds me of Ox Baker. And you know, if you don't know who Ox Baker is, definitely go back and look him up. But he reminds me of Ox Baker, a tough guy just like him. Man, the Butcher deserves more than what he actually gets, and the Blade too. You know, it's time to really, man, these guys can be superstars. You know, give the Butcher and the Blade, give them their props, man. They can put up. There could be some legendary tag team matches over in AEW if you make these guys the world champion. Why can't these guys have the world titles when you got teams like the Acclaim? You want to give the belts to the Acclaim, man. Give them to Butcher and Blade. Butcher and Blade deserves those titles, man. I I can imagine if they went over to the WWE, what WWE could do with them. Man, WWE would at least have these guys on the road to success to maybe get those titles down the road. But AEW, man, Tony Khan doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue, and it's very sad what's going down with that. Man, I mean, I really hate it. But yeah, the Butcher. Yeah, I just want to talk about the Butcher. The Butcher deserves better than what he's getting. He deserves to be on top, man. He does. Him and the Blade. But if you want, I'd rather see him wrestle with the Blade as a tag team, not solo. But hey, he did his thing yesterday. But man, it's hard. Anytime you look at wrestling or anybody that look at wrestling, they are gonna look at wrestlers as these unbeatable guys. These guys that can get out here and do work against the normal average Joe, man. And that's what Orange Cassidy looks like. He looks like some kid who wants to be cool and be downtown in some area, downtown or uptown in some area, and put his hands in his pocket and be real cool around his friends or whatever. But that's the type of guy he wants to be. And can you see a guy like that beating up somebody that looked like the Butcher, beating up the Butcher? Not really. Of course, it can happen. You know, younger guy, faster, or whatever. That kind of stuff happens. But for the most part, no. No. Man, so Butcher, he looks like he can whoop some tail. And you need to give him his props, man. AEW don't want to do that. AEW doesn't want to do that. All right, JL says, so Stand and Deliver has a kickoff show. Bro, it starts at 10 for me, but it means I will be rewarded. Yes, I said rewarded with a Braun masterpiece. You know I am there. Yeah, I hear you, man. JL, Orange looks like Ultimate Warrior compared to Adam Cole. He does, man. He does. And JL, why is FTR saying CM Punk is being bullied and the locker room is just bitter? He is making more than them and the biggest star. Yeah, man, look, FTR likes him. But just because you like him don't mean everybody else does. You know, some people get along. You know, he's gonna get along with somebody back there, but and that's FTR is a good ally to have. And I guess he figures they hold weight with the company, and he them going out there saying that is gonna put him over with the talent in the back. But if the guy's a jerk, he's a jerk, and people are not gonna they're not gonna respond to him. That's all it is to it. Jail, it is not always about height. Either international role model is 183 centimeters, 6 feet, same as me, but he has a larger than life feeling because he is so dense and big and a beast. Yeah, yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. Guys, I am getting very tired, man. I want to run over these reviews real quick. Tell you the truth, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I'm basically wow, man. I'm wiped out. I didn't get as much. I didn't get much sleep the last couple of days. Had to take somebody to their surgery this morning at the hospital, 5 o'clock. So I didn't go to sleep yesterday. And man, right now I am dead tired. But since I do have it in the caption, man, I am gonna go over these reviews, man. All right, JL, I wonder how the locker room would react to Punk returning to the company. He would be real cheeky and play victim. Yeah, he would. But man, the toxicity is gonna start up. You know, it's gonna be very toxic. Either way it go, it's gonna start up. It might not at first, but I don't think Punk can help himself. JL, I do not think Punk can help himself. JL, you assume for such a small man with no fighting skills would be so cocky. He bought into his character too much. I bet you the average guy and some women would smoke Punk within 6 months training. Probably so. Probably so. Tobin Cruz, good night, Harry. See you tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. Good night, Tobin. See you tomorrow, man. Appreciate you joining Straight Up Wrestling Show. Be looking out for us tomorrow, man. Have a good night, man. Stay straight up. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and roll with these reviews. JL, I'm gonna roll with a couple reviews, man. Then I got to get off here myself. All right, man. Yeah, Tobin, no doubt. I got to go to sleep. JL, hey, what I've learned recently, this may seem corny, but having that GOAT and Boy Scout mindset, you can achieve anything. Yeah, that's true. Tobin Cruz, Harry, go to sleep. You need to walk. WWE Hall of Fame tomorrow. Laugh out loud. I hear you, man. Tobin Cruz, but it's Friday. Laugh out loud. Yes, it is, man. Yes, it is. And it's probably not Friday over there in your over there in Canada yet. Yes, it's 10:39 where you at. I think JL. But yeah, we're 12:39 here on the East Coast in the United States. But guys, let me go ahead. I'm going to get to these reviews. What in the world's going on here, man? Look like I'm frozen. Okay, look like I was frozen there for a minute. All right. Okay, man. Look, yeah, if you see me freeze or anything, let me know, JL. But yeah, I definitely want to go ahead and get with these reviews, man. Let me go and roll with these reviews real quick. Then I got to get on out of here. You know, I'm not gonna go vastly with them as far as I'm gonna talk about AEW Dynamite, and I will talk about Rampage from Saturday night. I don't know if you watched that, JL, but I did end up watching that. But let me go ahead and go with the AEW Dynamite review from this Wednesday night, man. We had Jungle Boy. He defeated Jack Perry. I gave it 1.5 stars, and thumbs down to Hook's interference. I mean, Hook didn't actually need to come out there, but Hook come out, and you know him and Ethan Page fought all the way to the back. But I guess Jungle Boy actually needed him out there because you know he was at a disadvantage. But I gave that 1.5 stars. All right, MJF entry and segment plus fight with MJF. It gets 2.5, 2.5 stars. So 3 stars on that. So MJF come out there and man, you know he had his entry. You know he and people were a little pumped up, and you know a lot of people fussing at him. You know, got in there, talked a little bit of mess. You know how he does. And you know, some people was behind him, a lot of people was against him, telling him to shut the F up. But you know, hey, that goes ahead and get 3 stars. You know, he had that interview, I mean that segment right there, and he was referring back and forth. He was going back and forth with Jungle Boy. But I give that 3 stars. Then we had Don Callie backstage interview with Kenny Omega. It was good. I give that thumbs up. We had Matt Menard, Ari Parker, and Jack Hagar trying to swoon the Acclaimed. You know, so they trying to get them to join them. You know, they want to get them in the Jericho Appreciation Society. And hey, they're entertainers too, so might as well. You know, I think they will be a good addition to tell you the truth. And Billy Gunn at a hockey game, you know, wasn't good. And Billy Gunn, man, he need to go over there and be with his sons. And that's just being straight up. But I give that thumbs down. I give that segment thumbs down. I didn't care for it at all. Man, Dalton Castle's crew getting jumped by the Blackpool Combat Club, it was awful. Straight up, man, that thing was awful. I could not stand it, guys. You know, let the people see wrestlers get momentum in your company before you destroy them. That's one thing. You know, Dalton Castle coming out. He's only been on the show a couple times before. Him and his guys coming out. Next thing you know, you have the Blackpool Combat Club come from behind like like yellow belly cowards and beat these guys down. And then Claudio went in there, took care of business, eliminated his opponent really quick. It was a disaster, man. It really was. I couldn't stand it. It was awful. I did not like it at all. All right, man. Then Comeback Club dismantles Dalton Castle and friends. One, I gave that half a star, and I put trash. I hate to say it, but it's a way to do things, and that was not it. Sorry, guys, you're not the Road Warriors, and I'm talking about the comeback Blackpool Comeback Club. They're not the Road Warriors, man. Get away from that trash, man. It just wasn't good. Then we have Don Callis went out to shake Adam Page's hand and discuss what went on the week before, and it was going good until they was attacked by the Blackpool Comeback Club, which made no sense at all. I hated it, and I hope they are going somewhere good with this foolishness because it's unhinged for real. Don Callis busted open his head. It didn't look good. Didn't look good at all. All right, JL, I will get to your comments here soon, man. Then Tony Schiavone talking to Kenny Omega backstage, telling him Don Callis was attacked, didn't come off well. It would have been better to approach him immediately after the match. I think he should have just went ahead and let this man go in there and keep his mind together, and then you come after the match and tell him what went down. All right, man. JL says, take your time, Harry. Boy Scout weekend will be energy draining, no doubt. All right, JL, you can call me JL. Boy Scout weekend, man. You're a trip. Boy Scout fan, Braun fan, anything except bias. Wow, man, I got this light right here in my eyes, guys. Let me turn this thing down a little bit. All right, man. Let me get back on this thing. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. All right. All right, JL, take your time, Harry. Boy Scout weekend will be energy draining. So you can call me JL, Boy Scout fan, Brian fan, anything except bias. JL Hook been derailed. I swear, Tony Khan needs needs stops. Uh, I swear, Tony Khan stops any hype and heat. People get Warlow, Hook, Acclaim, Miro, Rose, Darby. Am I wrong? They even went after Jade now. Yep. JL Rose dodged the bullet. Man, imagine being in that rubbish. Yeah, no doubt, JL. JL Harry, you have the same thoughts as me. You know, ever since the well deserved and finally acknowledging Boy Scouts greatness, you and I have been seeing eye to eye. Okay, JL. JL AEW is playing Russian roulette with these awful shows. They are losing fans by the week. Yes, they are, man. Yes, they are. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. I'm very disappointed, man. I really am. I'm really crushed, man. I'm really crushed. I was hoping big things for him, man. I really was. Um, let's see. All right. Comeback Club dismantles Dalton Castle in France. Like I said, man, it was trash. I hate it. I hate to say it, but it's a way to do things, and that wasn't it. I already said that Don Callis went out to shake Adam Page's hand and discuss what went on the week before, and it was going good until they was attacked by the Blackpool Combat Club. Another crazy thing, and I just now went over that, but it did, and it made no sense at all. I hated it, and man, Don Callis got his head busted open and didn't look good at all, and it's yeah, he has a you can see very deep through that cut. What went down wasn't good. Tony Schiavone talking to Kenny Omega backstage, like I said, telling him about that Don Callis attack. Man, he should have waited till that guy went out there and had his match. Tony Khan did. I mean, Tony Schiavone didn't have to get into that. Not at that time. Not at that time, man. That was very tasteless. That didn't go off well. Kenny Omega versus Jeff Cobb, man, I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was a very good match. And thumbs down to the outside interference by the Combat Club, and add Brian Danielson in on it too with a sneak attack on Omega. But as far as that whole segment go right there, as far as Brian Danielson, I really don't give him a thumbs down. But that whole thing, I give it a thumbs down. It really did not look good at all. When they attacked Kenny Omega, and you had all this other foolishness that went on the side of that. All right, man. Gun Club promo segment on FTR gets a thumbs down. Orange Cassidy defeated the Butcher, 2.5 stars, and once again, thumbs down to the interference during the match. I did like how the Blade tried to help Butcher in the early going, though. I said, but that ending was predictable. I definitely thought it was predictable. AEW is on a roller coaster with the interference. I said AEW is on a roller coaster with the interference crap. It's just too much interference, guys. way too much interference. It just over and over and over again. They ride that wave. They ride that roller coaster back and forth, back and forth. They continue to do it. When something's going good, then hey, like you said earlier, Jo, Tony Khan's got to mess it up, man. He just has to. He just has to. All right. Willow Nightingale versus Ruby Soho. He gets 2 stars and thumbs down to the attack from Soraya and Tony Stone. But thumbs up to Rio, Sky Blue, and Jamie Hayter for coming out for Willow, for Willow, guys. Man, and just that right there, Ruby Soho. Wow. I thought it was a decent match, but it just got out of hand. And I knew with Soraya and Tony Storm came out there, it just wasn't going to mean anything. It was just going to be a disaster. It was disaster written all over that match. Soon as I seen all 3 of them come out. All right, Adam Cole defeated Daniel Garcia. I gave it 2.5 stars. That was the last match. And thumbs up to the Brick Baker coming out to the ring after the match. And speaking of Adam Cole, man, I'm looking at him and Daniel Garcia. And Daniel Garcia, they got him listed at 187 pounds. You have Adam Cole listed at 200 pounds, at 202. Daniel Garcia looks bigger than him, man. It's kind of sad. Look like actuality looks like he's bigger than before he left. Now he had got really small. So man, he definitely needs to get into a gym. He needs to continue to work and he needs to eat. Need to put on some protein so he can build that stuff in the muscle. So that's it. I haven't really gave that a number as far as what AEW Dynamite had, but I think I'm going to go with 2 stars, guys. I'm going to say 2.5 stars, but I'm going to go ahead and go with 2 stars. That was below average. Didn't like it at all. But hey, we hope to see AEW get back on track next week. I want to see them get better because this right here is not good. We definitely need AEW to do very well to stay in competition with WWE. Because if they get wiped out, man, it's not going to be good. They're going to end up on a buried channel like Impact or something like that. All right, man. Let me go over to AEW Dynamite from Saturday night. From this past Saturday night, we had Ricky Starks face off with Juice Robinson. It wasn't good, guys. That was not good. I give it a thumbs down. Starks had the thing, but Starks had the thing popping by himself. Juice needs work. So, you had Ricky Starks in there, man, cutting the promo on Juice Robinson. Did Juice Robinson come out there? And, man, he started talking, just sounded like some crazed kid or something like that. And it just didn't come off good. All right, man. Then we had Jay Lethal and crew segment, which was, I thought was a very good segment. Jay Lethal, they continue to tease him like, man, he's king of the hill. He's one of the top guys over there, but they want to continue to have him lose matches, man. I just don't get it. All right, man. House of Black's Brody King. Speaking of House of Black, look like they done changed the name around a little bit, man. Okay, House of Black. Maybe it's because of Brody King. And when Brody King and Jake Matthews team up, they want to switch that thing up a little bit. Okay, House of Blacks, Brody King versus Jake Hagar. I gave it 1.5 stars. Quick, and then I got quick match. It was a quick match with interference from Julia Hart and Anna Jay. And Anna Jay went over there and she nailed Julia Hart. Man, put it down. Then we had Swerve Strickland's segment with Tech 9. It was okay. You had Tech 9, who's a pretty decent rapper. Had him on the show. And, man, but that promo was awful. And, but, Tech 9 supporting Swerve Strickland at the show. All right, man, we had Talia Valkyrie defeated Layla Gray. It only gets a half star, and thumbs up to AEW for trying to build a storyline between Valkyrie and Cargill. I will give them a big thumbs up, man, for building this, trying to build a feud between Valkyrie and Cargill. All right, man. Then we have the Acclaim versus the Kingdom. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Man, I didn't even rate this, but the Acclaim won the match. It was actually a pretty good match, man. In all actuality, this was pretty good. I'm trying to really think back to it. I either have it 2.5 stars or 3 stars. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it 3 stars. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give that match 3 stars. It was actually pretty good and a good way to end Rampage off for the night, man. But yeah, guys, let me go back and make sure we got everything as far as Kenny Omega defeated Jeff Cobb. We had man. Comeback Club defeated Dalton Castle, and Matt Menard and Ari Parker and Jake Hagar, Jake Hagar, they have not swooned. My man, you know, the heck, they haven't been able to swoon the Acclaim. All right, Don Callis backstage interview with Kenny Omega. We went over MJF entry and segment. With Jungle Boy went over. Jungle Boy did defeat Jack Perry. What? How in the world did I have that there? Wow, dude. Where in the world I come up with that? Who did Jungle Boy wrestle that night? How about Jungle Boy defeated Jack Perry? How in the world he didn't defeat himself, guys? Whoo, man, I done got tired. Well, I'll get that in just a moment, man. Guys, just give me a minute. That's just flat out crazy. I can't believe I wrote that down. I do believe that, to tell you the truth. I do believe that. Let me go ahead and get comments here. All right. JL Harry, have you have the same thoughts as me? Okay. JL AEW is playing Russian roulette. JL, what did you think of the Outcast? They need the Bellas in the group. It feels like a 2000s teenager teeny bopper group ripping off NWO. Pretty much, it is. JL, hey, the attack on Omega was clean. It was not a cheap shot. What? Man, you a stone trip. JL, man, the whole show seemed like rubbish. It wasn't good. Let's just say that, JL. JL was all access full of drama. I did not watch that stuff, man. I did not watch it. They disgusted me with that rubbish. They showed me I had to rinse my eyes rinse my eyes out by watching something great, aka Boy Scout. I erased that AEW crap out. JL, Adam Cole is not 200 pounds. I hope not. I weigh more than that. I do not want to be cocky, but I swear I am bigger than this guy with a pump or not. You would think after all these years he would improve. That's true. JL, AEW is almost neck and neck with Braun TV. Sorry, NXT. NXT got a 622 K and AEW got around 888K. Well, they didn't get that, JL. They got like 820 something. That is 830. I think it was 833. That is unacceptable for a developmental show that was mainly video packages being 200K behind. Oh, yeah. All right, Tobin Cruz. I wish Jay Lethal asked Tony for his release to be better in Impact on New Japan or hell NXT will be dope. That's true, Tobin Cruz. I wish he would ask for his release too. All right, JO, they are 200K plus viewers behind AEW's main show. That is pathetic. Yeah. Yep, that's true. JL, you seem disgusted with AEW, so am I. After that breathtaking video package, they decided to come with this. AEW is coming to my city in July, and like I said, they have until the end of June to clean up. Yeah, I hear you, man. All right, JL Harry, is either you are tired after watching that video package. Too much of you were wide awake and you were distracted watching the video package. Once again, you been writing your notes. Ray Underwood, my man Ray Underwood is in the house. Ray, what's up, man? What's up, Ray? Our partner Ray is in the house, guys. But family, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, man, being on here. And as you come in, definitely smash that like button here on YouTube. Hit that like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, ding, 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 so you know when we're on like times like these. Over on Facebook, that like, share, join. On Twitch, man, do the same thing you do on YouTube. And on Twitter, man, hit that like, share, tweet, and retweet. And guys, man, we don't went over. Man, we've been unpacking a lot of things, but I'm going to stay on for just a little while longer and till tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be doing a few shows. Tomorrow, Chris will come on with me. Tomorrow, we're going to go early, and we will knock out the preview for WrestleMania. We might as well do Stand and Deliver before that. We do Stand and Deliver. I'll make sure we do that one too. But hey, man, been a good night. And like I said, as far as I didn't give you a rating on as far as AEW Dynamite. Oh, AEW Dynamite, I did. I said 2 stars. I can't give it no better than that. And as far as Rampage, I got to give that 2 stars too from Saturday night. It was not good at all. And man, I was highly disappointed in that too. But hey, I'm like a lot of people out here, especially big time AEW fans. We're holding out hope, man. I'm holding out hope that they get this thing together, but you cannot throw chaos in the middle of a situation when that thing is not straightened out and think you're gonna straighten it out, man. Like I said, before the Horsemen did their thing, Jim Crockett Promotions, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling area. That thing was solid. They had stars there. They had storylines. They had a lot of things going good. The next thing you know, Ric Flair told Tully Blanchard when Rick got knocked out of the ring. Was that against Magnum TA? And Ric Flair told Tully to get him, and Tully got him. Next thing you know, next week I see Arn Anderson and Ole Anderson, with Ric Flair. These guys starting something. Then Tully Blanchard come out there with him. Next thing you know, we have the birth of the Four Horsemen. NWO, when NWO got this stuff, got together, man, things were going great in WCW. Sting was a huge star. Lex Luger was a huge star. You had you still had Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and Roddy Piper. Oh, well, Piper hadn't came there yet, but you had huge stars. You had Hacksaw Duggan over there. As far as heels, you had Harlem Heat. You had you just had a lot of major stars, man, that was still in the company. You still had Bobby Eaton. So you had a lot of guys doing a lot of things. And hey, NWO was the bad apple in the bunch. They spoiled it. Same thing what Four Horsemen did. But you got a company over here in AEW who haven't had their thing together in a long time. I really can't say they've had everything together yet. But and you take your most successful heels and your most successful wrestlers, and you make them into this heel club, and they go out there and just murder everybody, just jumping everybody, beating up everybody, and don't make no sense. Don't make no sense at all. And then you wonder why you losing fans, why people not showing up. People don't want to show up and watch that stuff because the whole thing about it is you like, what is the point? Man, I'm looking for gladiators. I'm looking for, let a wrestler build. I want to see wrestlers build up. I don't want to see them get attacked every week. That thing with Dalton Castle, man, come on, man. I'm not a huge Dalton Castle fan, but still, he didn't deserve that. I mean, you just wiped him out for nothing. What was the use of it? All right, JL said, I am hyped for Saturday. My well-being is on the line. Come on and do it for the fans. JL, okay, since you are heading off, I got a couple more things to say. Okay. JL, Braun is the international role model. He is inspirational and the perfect wrestler. He's not an inspirational role model, man. Great wrestler, though, and I'm pretty sure he's a role model to a lot of people that done seen him, all over the United States, especially over there in Florida, if you've seen him in live. All right, Braun has been carrying the sports industry on his back through the pandemic era. Okay, JL, Braun, Boy Scout is making the breaker WrestleMania of our lifetimes. He has to hold Milo's hand and give him the rub as he goes on to boost Raw and SmackDown ratings. Hey, I speak just facts like a machine. JL, okay, I will see you on Friday. On Friday, after I use the instilled mindset and smash and dare I say break everything I need to do, and then we got SmackDown. One more sleep before Breakamania. Yeah, I hear you. All right, my man JL, please explain why you do not think Braun is not an international role model, man. Oh my gosh, man! Of course he's not yet, man. I'm sure he's a role model to people around the world, in certain spots. So I can't really say that. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll what you got, JL. But man, right now I'm telling you the truth, guys. I am dead tired. But I appreciate everybody coming in, man. As I got to do this review, I got to knock out a couple reviews, and man, I got to talk about Blackpool Combat Club. I got to talk about who's the other team? Blackpool Combat Club. I got to talk about man. Go ahead and read this thing. Blackpool Combat Club. I talked about the Butcher and the Blade. Kenny Omega Rising. Man, hey, been a great night, and I'm definitely gonna get some sleep, guys, because I am dead tired. Until tomorrow, man. Stay straight up. I'll see you guys, man. Peace.